If a woman tells you these 5 things, leave her immediately. Psychology tricks. There's a powerful line from author Mark Manson that says, "The person you choose to be with will either amplify your life or drain it." That truth hits hard when you start paying attention to what a woman actually says to you in moments that matter. Words are never random. They reveal mindset. They expose respect. They uncover intention. And if you're a man between 35 and 70, you don't have time to gamble your peace on hope. When a woman tells you certain things, not in anger, not as a joke, but clearly and directly, she's showing you exactly how she sees you. Most men miss it. They rationalize. They say she didn't mean it. They try to love harder. They believe patience will transform disrespect into devotion. It won't. Some statements are not misunderstandings. They are warnings. This is not about bitterness. It's not about ego. It's about self-preservation. A woman who values you does not speak to you with contempt. A woman who sees a future with you does not undermine your confidence or question your worth as leverage. When she consistently says things that belittle you, compare you unfavorably, threaten to replace you, dismiss your feelings, or openly declare she doesn't need you but keeps you around anyway, she is not confused. She is revealing her position. And once that position is clear, your move is clear. You do not debate your value. You do not negotiate for basic respect. You do not beg someone to treat you properly. You leave. Many men fear that walking away looks like weakness. It doesn't. Staying where you are diminished is weakness. Removing yourself calmly is strength. Silence and distance communicate more powerfully than any argument ever could. The moment you tolerate open disrespect, you teach her how to treat you. The moment you walk away without drama, you teach her who you are. You don't need to shout. You don't need to convince. You simply decide that your time, your dignity, and your emotional stability are not up for negotiation. When a woman truly wants you, she protects the bond. When she is done, she tears it down with her language first. By the time those 5 phrases come out of her mouth, the relationship has already shifted. You're just catching up to the reality. So don't fight for a seat at a table where you are barely tolerated. Choose yourself. Every time. 1. I don't need you. If a woman ever looks you in the eye and says, "I don't need you," don't brush it off as heat of the moment emotion. Don't romanticize it as strength, and don't twist yourself into knots trying to decode it with clever psychology tricks. Listen carefully. Because words like that are rarely random, and in the world of female psychology, what is spoken in tension often reveals what has been quietly believed for a long time. A mature, grounded woman can absolutely be independent. She can have her own income, her own ambitions, her own circle, her own rhythm, and still deeply value your presence. That is healthy strength. But when she throws, "I don't need you" at you, especially with a sharp edge, that is not independence speaking. That is detachment revealing itself. Be honest. That statement is not about self-sufficiency. It is about hierarchy. It is about how she sees you. Women do not say this to men they admire. They do not say this to men they fear losing. They do not say this to men they are trying to build a future with. When those words come out, the hidden message is simple. You are optional. You are replaceable. You are not essential to her vision of tomorrow. And once that frame is set, everything shifts. The balance tilts. She begins to act from a position of emotional superiority, and you begin reacting from a position of defense. Don't step into that trap. Many men, especially later in life when they crave stability and connection, make the same mistake. They try to repair the moment. They explain. They justify. They list everything they've done. They attempt to prove their value as if love were a courtroom and they just needed better evidence. Stop. You cannot argue your way into being respected. You cannot debate your way into being desired. That is not how to fall in love, and it is certainly not how to rebuild attraction once it has quietly eroded. In female psychology, attraction thrives on admiration and emotional security. The moment she believes she stands above you, admiration fades, and without admiration, affection slowly dries up. Understand this clearly. When she says she doesn't need you, She is also revealing what she believes about power in the relationship. She believes she can walk away without loss. She believes you are more invested than she is. She believes she has options that feel stronger than what you offer. A woman does not push away a man she is afraid to lose. That is not how psychology tricks work in real life. Fear of loss creates closeness, not dismissal. So when dismissal shows up, believe it. Don't minimize it. Don't call it drama. Call it information. Be calm. Be observant. Be decisive. Because the real danger is not the sentence itself, it is what happens if you stay after hearing it. When you remain in a place where your importance has been openly questioned, you quietly teach her a lesson. You will tolerate being devalued. And human nature, male or female, expands whatever it is allowed to repeat. Today it is, I don't need you. Tomorrow it becomes decisions made without you. Then jokes at your expense. Then subtle comparisons to other men. Then emotional distance that feels colder each month. This is not about pride, it is about structure. Relationships require mutual need, not dependency, but chosen interdependence. Two people saying, I can stand alone, but I choose you. That is strength. But I don't need you removes choice and replaces it with indifference. Don't confuse independence with indifference. They're not the same. A woman who respects you can disagree with you, challenge you, even get frustrated with you, and still never attack your significance. She will say, I'm upset, not you're unnecessary. She will say, we need to fix this, not I'd be fine without you. Those differences matter. They reveal intent. And intent is everything in female psychology. Some men stay because they are afraid of starting over. Some stay because they think endurance equals loyalty. Some stay because they believe if they just love harder, give more, prove more, she will eventually see their worth. But love is not a marketing campaign. You do not persuade someone into valuing you. Either she sees your worth or she does not. Either she feels that losing you would cost her something meaningful or she does not. That is the uncomfortable truth behind many psychology tricks men try to master. No tactic replaces genuine respect. And here is another layer you must understand. When she says she doesn't need you, she is also testing the frame. She is watching to see if you crumble, if you chase, if you plead for reassurance. If you do, you confirm her belief that she holds the emotional leverage. If you remain calm, centered, and willing to walk away, you reestablish balance. Not through anger, not through threats, through quiet action. Walking away is not emotional chaos, it is strategic clarity. It is saying, I will not occupy a space where I am optional. That is strength. That is self-respect. That is how to fall in love the right way in the future, with someone who values partnership, not superiority. And let's be clear, leaving does not mean you lack patience. It means you have standards. It means you understand that attraction built on imbalance cannot last. A woman who truly loves you will never feel the need to announce that she doesn't need you. She may express independence. She may assert boundaries. But she will not diminish your role in her life. If she does, believe her the first time. Don't wait for repetition. Don't wait for escalation. Don't wait until your confidence is chipped away piece by piece. Be decisive early. Many men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s finally realize that peace is more valuable than constant negotiation for respect. Learn that lesson sooner, not later. When you hear, I don't need you, translate it accurately, I do not see you as essential. And if you are not essential, you are temporary. Don't accept temporary treatment while offering permanent loyalty. Be the man who understands that walking away from disrespect is not losing, it is filtering. It clears space for a woman who says, through both words and actions, I value you. I choose you. I appreciate you. That is not fantasy. That is alignment. And alignment is the foundation of every lasting relationship. So don't argue. Don't beg. Don't over-explain. Listen. Decide. Act. Because a man who respects himself does not try to convince someone to need him. He finds someone who is proud to. 2. You're too emotional. Let's talk about the second warning sign, and don't brush this off because it sounds small on the surface. The phrase is simple, you're too emotional. It rarely explodes out in the middle of a shouting match. No, it often arrives quietly, almost gently, slipped into conversation as if it's harmless. But don't be fooled. The message underneath is heavy. When a woman tells you that you're too emotional, she's not analyzing communication styles. She's not trying to improve the relationship. She is questioning your frame. She is testing your masculine energy. And if you miss what that means, you will slowly lose ground in your own relationship. Understand this clearly. Real men feel. Real men experience stress, pressure, doubt, frustration, and disappointment. A high value man does not walk through life numb. He carries responsibilities. He faces challenges. He bleeds internally and still shows up. That is strength. That is grounded masculine energy. So when she says you're too emotional, what she's really implying is that your openness is unattractive to her. She is not asking for balance. She is labeling vulnerability as deficiency. And once she frames you that way in her mind, respect begins to erode. Slowly, quietly, but consistently. Now be calm. Don't react with anger. Don't try to defend your right to feel. Observe the pattern. A mature, secure woman listens when you speak from the heart. She may not always agree, but she respects the courage it takes to express what most men suppress. She understands that a high-value man who can articulate his emotions is rare. That is the kind of man who can attract women naturally, without games, without pretending. Emotional intelligence is power. It is not a flaw. But when a woman uses your emotions against you, she is revealing something deeper. She is showing that she does not intend to be your safe place. She does not see herself as your partner in battle. She sees herself as the judge in the courtroom. And a relationship where one person judges and the other defends is not partnership. It is performance. You will constantly filter yourself. You will measure your tone. You will hesitate before speaking your truth. That is not freedom. That is emotional isolation inside a relationship. Let's go deeper. Men often suffer in silence because they fear this exact moment. They fear opening up and hearing you're overreacting. You're too sensitive. You care too much. Notice the pattern. Each phrase subtly diminishes your experience. Each one suggests that your internal world is exaggerated or inconvenient. Over time, this chips away at your confidence. You begin to second-guess your instincts. You ask yourself if you're being dramatic. You shrink. And a shrinking man cannot maintain strong masculine energy. A high-value man does not shrink. He reflects. He adjusts when necessary. But he does not apologize for having a human nervous system. He does not silence himself to maintain temporary peace. Because here's the truth. If she respected you deeply, she would choose her words carefully. If she feared losing you, she would handle your emotions with care. People protect what they value. Remember that. If she casually dismisses your feelings, it signals that she does not see you as someone irreplaceable. Now consider the escalation. The first time she says, "You're too emotional," it might feel like a misunderstanding. The second time, it feels pointed. The third time, it becomes a weapon. During arguments, she will revisit it. She will say, "Here you go again." She will roll her eyes. She will speak to you as if you are unstable. And every repetition lowers the level of mutual respect. That is how dynamics shift. Not through dramatic explosions, but through repeated subtle undermining. Don't ignore public humiliation either. If she says it in front of friends, family, or coworkers, that is not accidental. That is positioning. That is her signaling to others that she sees herself above you emotionally. A woman who respects her man protects his image in public. She does not expose his vulnerabilities for social leverage. If she enjoys embarrassing you, even lightly, understand that the problem is not your emotions. The problem is her perception of you. Now be clear. This does not mean you become cold or emotionally unavailable. That is not strength. That is avoidance. The goal is balance. You must remain centered. You must express yourself calmly. You must communicate without dramatics. But you also must refuse to accept disrespect disguised as feedback. There is a difference between, "Let's talk about how we handle conflict better," and "You're too emotional." One invites growth. The other assigns blame. Ask yourself a powerful question. Can you trust her with your truth? If the answer is no, you are already alone in the relationship. Physical presence means nothing without emotional safety. A high value man values loyalty and emotional partnership. He does not need constant reassurance, but he does require respect. Without respect, attraction fades. Without emotional safety, intimacy dies. And when intimacy dies, the relationship becomes a contract of convenience. Men who attract women consistently understand this principle. They know that masculine energy is not about suppressing feeling, it is about controlling expression. It is about timing, composure, and clarity. You can be emotional and grounded at the same time. You can feel deeply and still lead. But if the woman beside you cannot appreciate that balance, she is not aligned with your level of growth. Don't argue endlessly trying to prove that you're not too emotional. That puts you in a defensive position. Instead, observe her pattern. Set a boundary calmly. Say, I'm expressing how I feel. If that's a problem for you, we need to reconsider what this is. That is strength. No yelling, no pleading, just clarity. A high value man does not beg for understanding, he offers it. If it is rejected repeatedly, he withdraws his investment. Here is the hard truth. A woman only labels a man as too emotional when she is not concerned about losing him. Attraction thrives where there is mutual respect. When she believes you will stay no matter how she speaks to you, she becomes careless. Don't be the man who tolerates carelessness. Be the man who requires consideration. That is how you attract women who are emotionally mature. That is how you maintain masculine energy without becoming rigid. And remember, walking away is not dramatic. It is disciplined. If you reach the point where your emotional reality is consistently minimized, don't escalate. Don't threaten. Don't lecture. Simply detach. Because a woman who genuinely loves you will never call you weak for having feelings. She may challenge your behavior. She may push you to grow. But she will not shame your emotional depth. So listen closely the next time you hear those words. Don't react immediately. Analyze the tone. Analyze the pattern. Ask yourself if this is constructive guidance or subtle disrespect. You must protect your psychological stability. You must guard your self-respect. You must refuse to normalize emotional invalidation. That is not ego. That is self-preservation. Be composed. Be observant. Be decisive. A high-value man understands that his emotional world is part of his strength, not a liability. If she cannot see that, she is not positioned to walk beside you long term. And when you realize that, you don't crumble. You don't chase. You don't try to reshape yourself to fit her comfort. You stand firm. You honor your standards. And if necessary, you leave with dignity. 3. You deserve better than me. Listen carefully. When a woman looks at you and says, "You deserve better than me," most men misread it. They hear humility. They hear vulnerability. They hear a wounded heart trying to protect them. But you must train yourself to hear what is actually being said. Words matter. Patterns matter more. And in modern relationships, clarity is survival. When she tells you that you deserve better than her, she is not praising your value. She is announcing her withdrawal. She is telling you, in soft language, that she does not intend to rise to the standard you require. As Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Believe her, not with anger, not with resentment. Believe her with calm precision. Because this sentence is not romance. It is strategy. It is distance wrapped in kindness. It is an exit disguised as care. A woman who truly wants you does not suggest that another woman could do better for you. A woman who fears losing you does not gently guide you toward the door. She leans in. She invests. She competes with her own limitations. She grows. That is attraction. That is effort. That is alignment. When she says you deserve better, she is quietly admitting she has no intention of becoming better for you. And you must not negotiate with that reality. In today's world of endless options, social media validation, and disposable connections, people rarely say, "I don't want to put in the work." Instead, they say something that sounds noble, something that makes them look thoughtful. "You deserve better than me." It sounds selfless. It sounds reflective. But look deeper. If she truly believed you were valuable, she would treat access to you as valuable. She would not downgrade herself as a way to excuse her lack of commitment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Old Stoic wisdom, wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Apply that here. Waste no more time arguing about what she meant. Observe what she does. If she is stepping back, you step back further. If she lowers her effort, you withdraw your presence. Not out of pride, out of principle. This is Stoicism when in action. Calm, observant, unemotional, decisive. An iron mind does not chase mixed signals. An iron mind does not try to rescue someone from their own lack of desire. When she says you deserve better, she is revealing her internal position. She has already measured the relationship and decided not to invest more. She may not want confrontation. She may not want to look harsh. So she softens the blow. But the blow remains. And a grounded man does not beg for someone to reconsider his value. He does not try to convince someone to fight for him. He does not lower his standards to keep temporary comfort. He stands still. He evaluates. He chooses himself. That is not arrogance. That is alignment with Old Stoic wisdom. You must understand something critical. When a woman truly respects you, she does not prepare you for life without her. She prepares herself to rise to your level. Effort is the universal language of interest. Consistency is the universal language of commitment. If she says you deserve better, yet makes no effort to become better, the message is complete. No debate required. As Epictetus taught in Old Stoic wisdom, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction defines your strength. You can either argue with her statement, reassure her endlessly, and try to prove that she is enough, or you can accept the signal and move forward with dignity. One path drains you. The other builds you. Stoicism win is always the path of strength without drama. In modern dating culture, many men fear walking away. They fear being alone. They fear starting over at 40, 50, 60. But understand this. Staying where you are not valued is far more damaging than beginning again. Time is your most valuable asset. Emotional energy is your most valuable currency. When someone tells you they cannot meet your standard, believe them and free yourself. An iron mind does not cling to potential. It responds to reality. Potential is a story. Reality is behavior. If she says you deserve better, she has already concluded she will not compete for your continued presence. Accept that conclusion. Act accordingly. This is not about punishing her. It is not about proving a point. It is about refusing to negotiate with low investment. A strong man does not argue with disinterest. He exits quietly. He improves himself. He attracts alignment elsewhere. That is Stoicism win. Calm detachment. Strategic movement. Self-respect in motion. And here is the deeper truth. When you walk away from situations where effort is low, you increase your market value without saying a word. Scarcity creates respect. Certainty creates attraction. Indecision creates confusion. Choose certainty. Choose movement. Choose clarity. Remember this. If she truly believed you deserved better, she would fear losing you to that better. And fear of loss creates effort. It creates adjustment. It creates growth. When there is no adjustment, there is no urgency. When there is no urgency, there is no deep attachment. You must train yourself to read actions over sentences. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that external words are impressions, not truths. Test them against behavior. If the behavior does not align with growth, do not invest further. An iron mind protects its time. An iron mind protects its standards. Too many men interpret that phrase as an invitation to reassure her. They respond with, "No, you're perfect for me." They begin overgiving, overcompensating, overproving. Stop. Do not reward retreat with pursuit. Do not reward low effort with higher effort. That imbalance erodes respect. Instead, respond with composure. "I understand." And then observe what she does next. If she increases effort, you reconsider. If she withdraws further, you have your answer. Stoicism win is not emotional reaction. It is emotional discipline. You are not here to convince someone to value you. You are here to share value with someone who already sees it. There is a difference. When a woman says you deserve better, she is absolving herself of responsibility to meet your needs. That is her right. But it is your responsibility to respond with strength. As Seneca taught in Old Stoic wisdom, he suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. Do not suffer prematurely. Do not argue with a closing door. Step through another one. Modern life offers abundance, opportunities, people, growth, reinvention at any age. Whether you are 35 rebuilding after divorce or 65 rediscovering companionship, the principle remains the same. Value must be mutual. Investment must be reciprocal. Desire must be active. If she is preparing you for better, take her advice. Go find better, not out of spite, out of alignment. An iron mind understands that rejection is redirection. A disciplined man understands that clarity is a gift. When you internalize this mindset, something powerful happens. You stop fearing statements like that. You stop overanalyzing tone. You stop chasing reassurance. You become steady, predictable, calm. And that calm confidence becomes magnetic. Women sense emotional stability. They feel decisiveness. They respect boundaries that are enforced quietly. Stoicism win is not about detachment from love. It is about attachment to self-respect first. So here is your instruction. When she says, "You deserve better than me," do not debate. Do not persuade. Do not downgrade your expectations. Listen, evaluate, act. If her actions confirm withdrawal, you withdraw fully. You focus on growth, fitness, finances, purpose, brotherhood, expansion. That is how you build an iron mind. That is how you embody Old Stoic wisdom in a modern world. And understand this final truth. The right woman will never suggest you search for someone better. She will compete with her previous self to stay aligned with you. She will invest. She will communicate. She will adjust. She will show through action that losing you is not acceptable. Anything less is misalignment. Anything less is temporary. Anything less is beneath your standard. You are not here to beg for effort. You are here to respond to it. You are not here to rescue indecision. You are here to reward clarity. When she tells you that you deserve better, accept the message with composure. Thank her silently for the honesty. Then move forward without hesitation. That is strength. That is discipline. That is Stoicism win. And when you operate with that level of certainty, you do not lose. You refine. You sharpen. You advance. You become the man whose presence must be earned, not negotiated. That is the power of an iron mind guided by Old Stoic wisdom in the modern age. 4. I never asked you to do anything for me. When a woman looks you in the eye and says, "I never asked you to do anything for me," don't brush it off as a random comment. Don't laugh it away. Don't minimize it to keep the peace, because that sentence carries weight. And if you understand psychology tricks and the deeper layers of female psychology, you know words like that are rarely accidental. They are signals and a grounded, experienced man pays attention to signals. That phrase is not just about a favor or a small disagreement. It is about value, about recognition, about whether your time, your effort, your loyalty, and your quiet sacrifices mean something or mean nothing. When she says she never asked, she is subtly erasing your investment. She is reframing the story so that your support becomes irrelevant. Your consistency becomes expected. Your presence becomes ordinary. That is not how to fall in love in a healthy way, because real connection grows from appreciation, not from denial. A woman who truly cares notices what you do without being prompted. She feels your effort even when you don't announce it. She understands that leadership, protection, emotional stability, and showing up day after day are not automatic, they are choices. When she dismisses all of that with one cold line, she is telling you something about how she sees you. Listen carefully. Don't argue. Don't defend yourself by listing every dinner you paid for, every problem you helped solve, every time you stayed up late to support her. That is not strength. That is seeking validation from someone who just told you your effort did not count. Be calm. Be observant. Be decisive. In female psychology, one of the subtle psychology tricks people use to avoid guilt is reframing reality. If she convinces herself that she never asked for your support, then she does not have to feel responsible for benefiting from it. And she can walk away clean in her own mind, free from remorse, free from accountability. That is the deeper layer. It protects her ego, but it leaves you holding the bill for emotional labor she now claims she never ordered. Don't accept that rewrite. You must understand this clearly. When someone values you, they don't erase you. They don't downgrade your contribution to zero. They say thank you. They acknowledge. They reciprocate. Gratitude is not a luxury in relationships, it is the oxygen. Without it, everything suffocates slowly. And here is the dangerous shift you must recognize. When she starts seeing your effort as routine instead of valuable, she begins to assume you will always be there. Familiarity without appreciation breeds indifference. Indifference erodes respect. And once respect starts to fade, attraction quietly follows. This is not about ego. It is about structure. In healthy female psychology, admiration grows when a man's presence feels intentional and not guaranteed. When she believes you will never leave, no matter how she behaves, the dynamic tilts. You become predictable. You become safe in the wrong way. You become background noise. Don't let that happen. Don't fight for recognition. Don't beg to be seen. That is not how to fall in love with strength. That is how to lose yourself slowly. Instead, respond with silence and movement. You don't explode. You don't threaten. You don't dramatize. You adjust your investment. You step back. You let her experience the absence of the man who used to show up without fail. Absence is not manipulation when it is rooted in self-respect. It is clarity. It allows both people to feel reality. If your presence truly meant nothing, she will continue unaffected. That is your answer. If your presence had weight, she will feel the difference immediately. That is also your answer. Many men in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond make one critical mistake. They believe love is proven by endurance. They think staying no matter what is noble. They think absorbing dismissal is strength. It is not. Endurance without boundaries is self-abandonment. Be generous, yes. Be supportive, yes. But never be invisible. You must draw a quiet line inside yourself. My effort has value. My time has value. My emotional steadiness has value. When someone speaks as if it doesn't, believe them the first time. Psychology tricks often hide in casual sentences. I never asked you. It sounds harmless. It sounds logical, but it dismisses the spirit of partnership. In real partnership, we don't need to submit formal requests for care. We act because we care. We give because we choose to. And we appreciate because we are mature enough to recognize intention. If she cannot acknowledge what you bring to the table, she is not operating from a mindset of shared growth. She is operating from convenience. And convenience is not love. If you want to understand how to fall in love in a way that lasts, remember this. Love is built on mutual awareness. She sees you. You see her. She values you. You value her. There is gratitude on both sides. There is humility on both sides. There is no need to erase history to feel justified. So when you hear that phrase, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Evaluate patterns. Is this the first time she has dismissed your effort, or is it part of a larger trend? Does she often rewrite events to remove your contribution? Does she treat your loyalty as default instead of deliberate? Patterns reveal character. And character determines destiny in relationships. Be strategic, not emotional. In psychology tricks and female psychology discussions, one truth remains consistent. People protect what they believe they can lose. If she truly believes you are permanent regardless of how she behaves, urgency disappears. Appreciation disappears. Effort disappears. That is human nature, not malice. Your job is not to change her nature. Your job is to position yourself where respect is required. You don't need to lecture her about gratitude. You don't need to explain basic appreciation to a grown adult. You simply shift your availability. You redirect your energy. You invest where you're valued. That is how to fall in love without sacrificing your backbone. Some men fear walking away because they think it proves they never cared. That is backward thinking. Walking away from dismissal proves you care about yourself. And self respect is magnetic. It communicates standards without shouting. It says, I give freely, but I am not disposable. That is the message. If she reflects, apologizes, and demonstrates renewed appreciation, then perhaps the relationship can reset on stronger ground. If she doubles down, minimizes further, or treats your withdrawal as irrelevant, then you have learned something priceless before wasting more years. Don't wait for dramatic betrayal to justify leaving. Chronic lack of gratitude is slow corrosion. It chips away at enthusiasm. It dulls passion. It drains motivation. Over time, you become resentful, and resentment poisons everything. Stop it early. Be proactive. A wise man studies psychology tricks not to manipulate, but to protect himself from manipulation. He studies female psychology not to control women, but to understand dynamics. He learns how to fall in love in a way that strengthens him, not shrinks him. That means recognizing when a sentence reveals a mindset that does not align with your standards. And standards are not demands placed on others, they are boundaries placed on yourself. You decide what behavior you will tolerate. You decide what language crosses the line. You decide whether dismissal is acceptable. Once you decide, act accordingly, quietly, firmly, without theatrics. The strongest response to, I never asked you to do anything for me, is not a speech. It is a shift. Less access, less effort. More focus on your mission, your health, your friendships, your purpose. Watch what happens. Either she recalibrates because she feels the difference, or she drifts because she was comfortable all along. Both outcomes serve you. Remember, appreciation is not too much to expect. Respect is not too much to expect. Mutual acknowledgement is not too much to expect. Don't shrink your expectations to avoid losing someone who already treats your value as optional. Be the man who gives with intention and withdraws with dignity. That is power under control. That is maturity. That is emotional discipline. In the end, relationships are not sustained by who sacrifices more. They are sustained by who recognizes more. If she cannot recognize what you bring, you must recognize it yourself. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for your future is to leave someone who speaks as if your presence was never needed in the first place. If you heard those words and felt that sting in your chest, good. That means you still have self-respect. A man who knows his worth does not beg to be appreciated. He does not argue for gratitude. He does not stay where his effort is treated like it's ordinary and replaceable. When she says, I never asked you to do anything for me, she's not just dismissing your actions, she's revealing how little she values them. And once respect is gone, the relationship is already on borrowed time. Don't negotiate your value. Don't explain your sacrifices. Don't try to convince someone to see what they refuse to see. Real strength is quiet. Real power is walking away without drama and letting your absence speak louder than your words ever could. If you're ready to stop staying where you're not appreciated, comment this below, I never beg for respect. I walk away and keep my value. Write it. Mean it. Live by it. 5. Maybe we should take a break. On the surface, it sounds gentle, almost caring, like she's trying to protect both of you from making a rushed decision. Many men hear those words and immediately soften. They tell themselves she's stressed, she's overwhelmed, she just needs space. They think it's temporary, a pause, a timeout. But you must look deeper. You must listen not only to the words, but to the direction those words are pointing. When a woman says, maybe we should take a break, she is not confused about her feelings. She is preparing her exit. This is the soft landing before departure, the slow fade, the emotional disengagement that begins long before the physical one. It is rarely a reset button. It is usually a transition. Understand this clearly. Women do not take breaks from men they are deeply invested in. When a woman truly values a man, when she sees him as a high-value man, she fights for clarity. She communicates. She leans in. She says, we need to fix this. She does not say, let's step away. That is not how attraction behaves. That is not how respect expresses itself. A break sounds neutral. It sounds mutual, but look at the structure of it. A break removes responsibility. She gets freedom. You get uncertainty. She gets space to explore life without you. You get placed on standby, emotionally suspended, waiting for a verdict. That is not partnership. That is imbalance. Do not misunderstand this. Relationships go through stress. Conflict happens. Real love requires adjustment. But when someone wants to build with you, they build with you. They don't step outside the house to see if the grass feels softer elsewhere. They stay and repair the foundation. They don't put the project on hold while they see how they feel. Maybe we should take a break is often code for, I'm not sure I choose you anymore, but I'm not ready to say it directly. It feels softer than I'm done. It sounds kinder than I don't see a future. But the direction is the same. It creates emotional distance under the disguise of reflection. You must not ignore the psychology here. When a woman suggests a break, she is already imagining life without you. She is testing separation. She is easing herself out. It is rarely about self-growth alone. It is about detachment. And if she needs distance to evaluate your value, she has already reduced it. A high-value man does not sit on a shelf waiting to be picked up later. He does not accept being an option. He does not agree to emotional limbo while someone decides whether he is enough. That is not masculine energy. That is self-abandonment disguised as patience. Be clear. Be calm. Be grounded. Many men stay because they fear losing her completely. They think agreeing to a break increases the chance she will come back. They believe flexibility equals maturity. But flexibility without boundaries is weakness in disguise. A break is not compromise. It is a withdrawal of commitment. Ask yourself this: if she truly believed in the relationship, would distance strengthen it? Or would closeness, conversation, and effort be the real solution? When a woman respects a high-value man, she works through discomfort with him, not away from him. She doesn't step back to see what else is out there. She invests. Do not chase clarity from someone who is creating confusion. A break gives her emotional insurance. She can explore. She can breathe. She can test independence. And if it doesn't feel better, she may return. Meanwhile, you sit in suspension, waiting for a text, waiting for a sign, waiting for her decision. That is not how a man with self-respect operates. A man rooted in masculine energy understands something powerful. If someone is unsure about him, that uncertainty is already an answer. Attraction does not need time off. Respect does not require separation to survive. If she needs space to determine your worth, she has already stepped outside the emotional commitment. Don't beg. Don't negotiate your presence. Don't agree to be paused. Instead, respond with clarity. I don't do breaks. If you want to end it, I respect that. But I don't do halfway. That is strength without aggression. That is confidence without hostility. That is how a high-value man protects his standards. Many men fear this approach because they think it sounds harsh. It isn't harsh. It is honest. And honesty is attractive. Even if she walks away, you walk away intact. You keep your dignity. You keep your frame. You keep your masculine energy steady. Let's go deeper. When she says she needs a break, what she often means is that her emotional investment has decreased. She is no longer certain. She is no longer fully in. And relationships do not survive on partial commitment. They survive on shared vision and shared effort. You cannot negotiate desire. You cannot convince someone to be sure about you. And you must never shrink yourself to remain acceptable during her period of evaluation. A high-value man does not audition for a role in his own life. Be decisive. That is attractive. Be calm. That is powerful. Be willing to lose what no longer chooses you. That is strength. When a woman sees that you will not tolerate emotional half-steps, she understands your standards. And here is the paradox. Even if she truly needed space, your refusal to accept limbo commands respect. Because you are not acting from fear. You are acting from clarity. Now, this does not mean you react emotionally. Do not explode. Do not accuse. Do not turn bitter. That is reactive. Instead, be composed. Say what you mean. Stand where you stand. That is masculine energy in motion. It is stable. It is firm. It does not beg for reassurance. Some men here break and panic. They immediately increase effort. More texts, more calls, more promises. They try to prove they can change. But desire is not revived through pressure. It is revived through strength and self-possession. And sometimes it is not revived at all. You must understand, if she needs to step away to determine your value, she is already living in a mindset where you are not fully chosen. And you deserve to be fully chosen, not tested, not compared, not evaluated in absence. A high-value man attracts women because he respects himself first. He does not cling to what is fading. He does not hold on to what is slipping away. He lets go with composure. That composure is magnetic. That clarity is rare. The phrase, "maybe we should take a break," is rarely about repair. It is about transition. And if you accept it blindly, you step into uncertainty by her design. Don't do that. Instead, say, "I respect your feelings, but I don't do breaks. If you need to end this, I understand. I wish you well." Then walk. No drama. No extended debate. No emotional chasing. That is how a man protects his peace. This is not about ego. It is about self-worth. It is about understanding that attraction thrives on strength, not on waiting rooms. You must not become a placeholder in someone else's exploration phase. If she comes back quickly and with clarity, expressing commitment and accountability, that is different. But if she drifts, if she stays vague, if she leaves you guessing, the message is already delivered. Don't ignore patterns. Don't romanticize distance. Don't confuse hesitation with depth. A relationship built on uncertainty will always feel unstable. And you are not here to stabilize someone else's indecision. You are here to build something mutual, something intentional, something grounded. Masculine energy is not loud. It is not forceful. It is steady. It knows when to stay and when to leave. And when someone suggests a break, that is often your signal to step back fully. Because here is the truth most men resist. If she truly fears losing you, she will not risk distance. If she truly values you, she will not gamble with separation. A high-value man understands that. You attract women not by tolerating emotional ambiguity, but by setting standards, by being clear, by being willing to walk away from what does not fully choose you. So when you hear, "maybe we should take a break," don't panic. Don't plead. Don't negotiate. Listen. Observe. Decide. If she is stepping back, you step out. Fully. Cleanly. With dignity. That is not cruelty. That is self-respect. And in the long run, that is what protects your heart, your confidence, and your future relationships. Because the man who refuses to sit in confusion becomes the man who is chosen with certainty. Be that man. All right, my friend, let's wrap this up the right way. Listen carefully. When a woman speaks, she is showing you how she sees you and how she sees the relationship. Don't twist her words. Don't soften them. Don't rewrite them in your head to make them hurt less. If she says she doesn't need you, if she mocks your emotions, if she tells you that you deserve better, if she erases your effort or starts talking about taking a break, those are not random phrases. Those are decisions spoken out loud. Most men don't get blindsided. They get warned and they ignore it. Here's the truth. Love is not supposed to feel like you're constantly proving your worth. Respect is not optional. Effort should be acknowledged. And when those things disappear, staying longer doesn't make you loyal, it makes you stuck. You don't need to argue. You don't need a dramatic exit. You simply step back with calm, with dignity, with self-respect. That's strength. That's maturity. That's a man choosing peace over chaos. So my sincere advice to you is this: believe what you hear. Take words seriously. Protect your mental space. Choose yourself when the relationship stops choosing you. Your peace matters more than your pride. Your future matters more than your fear of being alone. Stay sharp. Stay self-respecting. And remember, the right woman will build with you, not slowly break you down. See you in the next one.